recording. Okay, let me bring my screen up. Okay, guys, is this the screen I want? I'm gonna make sure I got the right screen in place because I have so much up here. Now I guess this is it. Okay, hey guys, welcome. It's Technology Drop-In Thursday. Today is March 3rd, and as I was just saying, really cool thing that I discovered earlier today with Power Automate. So we'll kind of quickly look at our agenda. This is what we're going to be covering today, and I do want to start off with this Power Automate thing that I figured out earlier. So in the previous sessions, and if you looked at the video in that, I've shown you how you can go in Power Automate and use a way of going in, we'll go away screen, going in and sending an email message out to this person here, whoever's in the assignment, and change the status. But the one thing I never, at the time, hadn't spent time to figure out was, what about the actual sharing? Because in the examples I've talked with other people, they basically share the whole folder with everyone, so you don't have to worry about sharing. But that's not always the case. So sometimes you want to actually share this file out. And so looking at the existing flow that I had before, where you would select your file, you get the properties, you send an email out, and you would update the properties, there's actually a step that I figured out we can add here in between where we start sharing the file with the person. So basically, as we've put these steps in, keep in mind you have to first say what app you want to work with. So in this case, it's SharePoint. And then we're going to look for connectors. And I mentioned connectors here as all sort of them. And we're talking about permissions and access. So if I just type in access, I'm going to see one here called grant access to an item or a folder. So remember, we're working in a document library. And so as part of this process, I want to be able to go through and share the file for this this file here in this library. So I'm just going to grab the URL of the site here. I can pull it down here as well and look for Power Automate. And again, I have to identify what column or what folder I'm working in. The ID obviously means the ID of the file. And here's the cool part. Who do you want to receive this access? And so I type in an email, but we want to grab dynamic content. We want to grab whoever's in this assigned to piece. So I can now go in and I'm just going to look for assigned to their email. So that's the name of the column. So there's the person now in there. What role do I want to give that person? I could give them view access or edit access in this case. I can include a plain text message. So hey, and then I'm just going to go over here and grab elements to do that merge. Name. What's that name? So hey, what was it called here? It was assigned to. So assigned to display name. Hey John, you have edit access to, and then the name of the file. Ready to go down at the bottom here. Sometimes I have a bigger screen. Let's try this again. File name, and then I'm going to provide a link to the file. So what this does now is it actually will grant that person share access to it. So I'm going to go back to this Power Automate here. So this person here, if I look under managed access, I can see all the people that have access to this file. We don't see TS test staff in there anywhere. But now when I run this script, automate, says email status, go through this part, just a sec, it's coming. So the same status that we used before, and what should happen in a few minutes is I will get an email on my other account. It looks like it just came through now. And now if I take a look here on manage access, what I should see, I might have to refresh my screen here. Let's do that real quick. Automate, manage access, there we are. Oh, it hasn't come through yet. But when it does come through, what's going to happen is I will now see TS test staff, whoever the name is in here, is now going to have sharing access just to that file. I don't have to share the whole directory with them. And then what I can also do, what I can also do is there's a command here called stop sharing. So if I wanted to instead, I can replace this with a different function. So we'll go back into here. So let's say this is a different automation. Same thing, we're looking in SharePoint. And we're looking for an action called stop. stop sharing an item, and it's basically the same thing. Give me the name of the site, the library, and the ID number, which we're pulling from here already. And that person now, it's grabbing that person's name out of there and stop sharing it with them. So that is pretty cool. That's given us all that extra power of not only allowing people to be notified and changing our status here as we've done in the past, but also accessing the sharing to the person whose name's in there. And that can be done just by a manual click, and it's all done. So anyways, I geeked out. It was cool for me. I don't know if it was for you, but I will be doing a proper demo tutorial on that a little bit later. But just so you can know, for those of you that are playing in Power Automate, lots of cool stuff. We did a video, or I did a video called Work in SharePoint and Drop Desktop Sync. So there are a number of people that are still working desktop sync. They're having problems with the syncing and stuff like that. As much as we all like working in File Explorer, as I mentioned a number of times, it sucks. It doesn't work. So the video that I've done here not only will tell you how to stop the syncing, but I've got a video, this one here, that will show you how you could do everything you want in your desktop. So for example, one of the things we talked about is I can go into here, quickly create Word documents and stuff, or I can, if I want to open this document up in Microsoft Word, I can right click, hit open, and then open in the desktop app. So there is very, very, very few reasons to be using that File Explorer. I know we all like it. We've been used to it for so many years, but it is garbage. And so if you want to stop those syncing errors and stuff like that, that's the way to get around it. Add sender or save senders to Outlook. So there's an article here in the Help Center that you can find that information on. Same thing with the Stop Sync. There's a help article in there as well. But what we're talking about is, rather than my going in and right-clicking in and when a message comes in, because remember, we have to go into our junk email all the time and try and identify stuff. But I can go right into this place here, and I can add users or domains directly within my junk email. So this link or this information here is stored in the Help Center. Links in the show notes there. But what we've got here is a place to quickly go in and add stuff. And if I get a bunch of emails from a specific domain, I can just add the domain by itself. So here I could put in dog.ca, and anybody from dog.ca that sends me stuff will automatically be flagged as safe. They won't end up in my junk email box. And so that way we can kind of make sure that, excuse me, everyone from a specific company or domain gets through, and I don't have to keep looking into my junk email. Which brings up another reminder. Remember to go into your junk email. Remember to go into your, if you use the focus tab, go into those non-focused messages so that you're not missing anything. Oops, let's see, I see a comment. I'm just going to quickly check anything. I'm a diehard Explorer worker. Yeah, I get that. So when you have stuff craps out on you, don't come talk to me, because I've told you the solution. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's a paradigm shift. Totally get it. Outlook, you could also pin messages. So this, Randy, Jenny, and I were talking about this, and basically, if you've got, it's not going to show up here, I don't think. Will it allow me? Yeah. So if I've got this message here and I want it to be at the top all the time, I can pin it. So when I'm working on projects or something like that, those can get pinned up top there. And you could also create a folder and put, like, a number of them in there, because you don't want to pin 20 items in there. But for the one or two things you just want to have there top of mind every time you open up your email, you can pin that function up there. Thanks, Randy. That was a great tip, because there are things that I've been, since we talked about, I've used it a number of times. Screen sharing from Teams. So this has been around for a while. I just have never really paid attention to it. But here's a chat from Teams. I can start a video call. I can start an audio call. But off to the side here is the share screen. I'm not going to click on it because it'll take me out of this window. But what that will do is that it'll ring that other person, and then the video camera and the microphone will be off. But I will be able to share a screen. So this is handy if at the back in the day when we had desktop phones, I could pick up my phone and then do this. I wouldn't have to worry about a double echo. This is also handy if we are all in the same meeting room and we want to screen share, but I don't want to go through the trouble of having to tell everyone, turn off your cameras, turn off your speakers, because we're going to get that feedback loop because we're all in the same room. So this is very similar to the Google Meet companion function that we talked about last week. A little bit different, but it's just nice that I can, from the chat, I can do screen sharing, and that's the focus is going to be on screen sharing. You can still, once you start up this session, you can still turn on your audio or turn on your video camera afterwards. But if you're just doing screen sharing, it's kind of nice to skip to that first and then just do the one step. So I find it a little bit quicker when I use it. New video controls in SharePoint. So here is a video that's a file that I've uploaded to SharePoint and it's stored right there. So we now have, besides the play which we had before, but we now have skip forward 10, skip back 10, and that's it for files, video files that I upload. Okay, regardless where I've created the video, if I upload it, I'm only going to get these controls. If I've had a meeting, and I'm going to pull up a different video here in a second. If I've had a meeting and the file got saved directly into SharePoint from Microsoft Teams, then I have all those controls, but I also have the captions. I have the ability to playback speed. I'm a big fan of playing my stuff back at double time. I have the gearbox here to turn on the subtitle captioning, which is probably the same as this one here. And 4th February, and it's getting warmer. I got my screen talking, and as well, you can see I've got transcripts showing up here. Anything that was captured with that as well. So those are videos that we've captured through Teams, through a meeting or something like that. They will have these extra settings up here. But it's nice that they've had the skip ahead stuff and that. And for me, closed captions and to be able to speed things up, that's really huge for me. Eventually, I'm sure any files that we upload, those features will come down the road. Okay, that's those controls. Sections in PowerPoint. So if you've got so sections in PowerPoint really means collections. And but basically what it means is, hey, I've got a bunch of files. So let's say I'm doing a presentation, but today instead of my full presentation, I'm only going to do half of them. I can kind of put these away so that I don't have to worry about looking at them. So I'm going to go into here. Actually, I'm just going to select these two files here. And I'm going to go and create a new, add a section here. And basically, it's kind of like a folder. So I'm going to call this the short view. Rename that. And it's just a folder that opens and closes, right? So that I can quickly get rid of the stuff that I don't want and put it in there. I can also, when I present, because right now all this is doing is for me organizing. It doesn't stop you on how you present the stuff, but I can highlight these files that I want to hide. And there is a command called hide, where to go, new slide, hide slide, so that when I actually do the presentation, and where is my commands here? Go up, yep, go away. See if I can do this. Come on. That's the wrong window I want, but when you do a full presentation, the hiding will skip over these. You still see them and you can jump back to them in case you need to, but for the most part, it just allows you to go through and do your presentation without viewing these ones. But at the same time, when I'm organizing and getting presented or getting ready and reviewing them, I can just quickly hide everything and then just focus on the ones that I want. Wow, that was it. Any questions? Sorry, that was a fast day. I got really excited at the beginning there. I just never slowed down. Any questions? Any comments on anything?
I've got one quick comment, Trevor.
Sure.
Just in Outlook, when you click on a message, you don't have to right-click on it to get the pin function. If you click on it, 3 little tools show up beside it, a flag, a pin, and a trash can. So that's even slightly more convenient.
So you're talking on the desktop?
Yes, maybe that's the difference.
Right, yeah. Because I don't see those here. So probably so what Randy means is when you click on here, normally up top here you would get a pin function of some sort, right? Yeah. So that's on the desktop. Web 1, not so much by the looks of it. Thank you, Randy. Any other questions, comments? Okay, I'm going to turn the recording off then.